All right, good morning. Good morning. What's up, Spikelings? It's me and your one and only friend and travel guide, Aspiring Spike, and welcome to my Shark Typhoon. Today in the Typhoon, we're going on a little trip by taking a portal to Phyrexia. Sounds like a nice place full of trophies and fun for all of us. So come along and enjoy the ride. Remember to tip your travel guide, like, sub, follow, bit, sponsor support. Grab a Elishnorn plushie and sending decks to the PO box. Praise Elishnorn. Thank you, Chess. Good morning to everybody. So we've been talking about trying to shape Anew into a portal to Phyrexia basically for like a month now. And I was pretty stuck for a while. For the longest time, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to play this package in Reanimator, where I thought it was going to be pretty interesting to have, like, in the same way we had the Witch's Cottage plan plus Aether Mage's Touch be the backup plan to Unmarked Grave Persist. Shape Anew into Portal seemed like an amazing backup plan in that deck. Maybe I can pull up like a draft or two. I'm not saying I will never return to that, but I had some issues. So I started to build it a couple of times. This is probably like the last version I had. But the issue is, you know, you're a deck that's interested in playing like Indulgence or Mending, Persist, Unmarked Grave, or as your early spells, all like black spells or white spells, Leyline Binding, and you are playing a mana base of like all forests. And I just found that you can probably make the mana work, but I don't know that it is something that you're still like super fragile to Blood Moon. Is it better than the Aether Mage's Touch deck? I just kept getting really stuck there. And so just kind of sitting and trying to think a bit deeper about why you'd want to play Shape Anew over Creativity. I just, sitting and thinking a bit more about it. I think there are three main reasons you would want to play this deck over Creativity. One, you get to play Ragavan and Fury. Ragavan and Fury are just like, I feel like, phenomenal all-stars in this type of deck where Fury stabilizes the board very early and gets recurred by the portal so well. Fury is just like, Fury or Solitude are really, I think you want to be playing one of these two cards as like a good way to stabilize and a good way to recur with portal. And honestly, like, I think Fury is the better of the two. What's awesome about Ragavan in this deck, beyond the fact that it makes tokens for Shape Anew, is it just attacks from such a different angle than the creativity deck does. Against decks, against Creativity, you see people boarding out a lot of their removal. You see them playing a lot of like reactive counter spells, trying to play a slower game plan to slow your opponent down. And when they also have to contend with a turn 1 Ragavan, it is kind of a nightmare. So like getting access to specifically these two creatures, I think, is a big buff to this archetype over Creativity. Additionally, you are a much better Boseiju Wrenn and Six deck when you play Shape Anew instead of Creativity, because your mana base is base green rather than base red. The Boseiju is awkward as hell in Creativity. In this deck, I think it's a lot smoother, and that even lets you be on like the full 4 Wrenn, full 4 Boseiju post board. The other biggest thing, and this one is probably a bit more obvious, is that Shape Anew on a Gingerbread Cabin token does not get countered by removal like Creativity on a Dwarven Mind token. So because of this, it's just like you don't really need many extra enablers, right? So really, you need to make like 1 or 2 Gingerbread Cabin tokens over the course of the game with 12 fetch lands, 3 cabins, and 4 Wrenn and Six, 3 curve fetch land. That is a pretty easy task to accomplish. And I don't think that you need to play other enablers like Fable of the Mirror Breaker or like the blue-green evoke. I forgot the name, the Mulldrifter that makes clues. Because it's just very easy to just get a Gingerbread Cabin token. You'll need 1 or 2 over the course of a whole game. Mulldrifter is a card that I've been very impressed with in other shells like this. It's very weird. Honor Horizons 2 kind of made Mulldrifter a card that fits in a weird array of strategies, including this one. Just like being able to both have like a good card advantage spell while also something that just like, you evoke it early, then you portal, get it back, and just bury your opponent in card advantage. Just a perfect role player here. I'm playing 1 Eternal Witness. I think this could also be a Staffcaster, but Witness being able to get back Fury or land I think is pretty important. But the idea behind the Eternal Witness is, like on the front half is going to be fine, but if Witness is in your graveyard and you Shape Anew a portal, then you could return your Witness and then cast Shape Anew again. So that was the idea behind the Witness. So like to some extent, like you want to get like 2 portals going a lot of the time in the late game to bury your opponent. And I think in the late game, recurring Fulminator Mage is a good way to like lock your opponent out and, you know, kind of give you a degree of inevitability. I think that degree of inevitability is somewhat important, but maybe you already have it without the Fulminator Mages. I haven't really decided. I should have started earlier with saying this. I 5-0'd with this deck last night in my 1 practice league. The list was a little different. I was playing Avalanche Rider in the main over the Fulminator Mage, and I had the Mages in the sideboard. My thinking with the Avalanche Riders is like being able to destroy basics was kind of nice if I'm trying to lock my opponent out, looping the land destruction. But what I realized was Portal and Avalanche Riders don't actually play that well together, where the Echo for Avalanche Riders makes you sack it in your upkeep, but it's not in the graveyard at the beginning of your upkeep, so Portal can't return it every single turn. It can only return it every other turn, which makes you want to play Fulminator Mage. It's also 3 mana. It is harder to cast because it's red, but this could also like pressure your opponent's mana when they're trying to interact with you. I think that's pretty interesting. So I had 4 mages in the board. I just cut the riders 2/2 split with the mages, and then playing 2 foundation breakers, additional answer to blood moons and artifacts and enchantments. You think Fable would be good at a deck like this? Copy your Mulldrifter's Furies, discard a portal, enable Shape Anew. Yeah, Fable would be good in this deck. Fable would be good in this deck, but you need to play like, I think minimum 13, but probably like more than that ideally. You need to play creatures in your Portal to Phyrexia deck. You need to play creatures that get recurred by Portal. And so the fact that Fable is not a creature is really tough in this deck, where obviously like recurring, you know, copying Mulldrifter, copying Fury is nice. You could cut like the mages, the Witness, maybe an Explorer, maybe a Spell Pierce, and you can play some Fable the Mirror Breakers, but then you're just going down on creatures. And when you don't have anything to recur with Portal, this card is much worse. Like you need creatures in your graveyard to recur, which is why I'm not playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker. As even though it is like, you know, good in the deck, you have to play so many non-creatures already. Okay, this hand would be good if this Portal was a second land. We're gonna probably mulligan this. Explorer versus Iteration. I think Explorer is better. I was really impressed with Explorer yesterday. Here's also kind of the thing about expressive iteration. Like, iteration is playable in decks like this. It is like a lot worse in decks with like giant mana curves and 9 drops. It's a lot worse here than it is in. Okay, let's put back one of the fetch lands on the draw. I think the card is not as good in a deck with Shape Anew and Mulldrifter and this generally high curve than it is in like Murktide. I think that's something people forget a lot. You could obviously play Iteration. I think Explorer has been really good. I was really happy with them yesterday. This is also, you know, still absolutely an early draft, and so we have, you know, still some decision points to make. But I'm probably playing Titan. I haven't played against Titan in a while. Growth Spiral is too painful. I mean, to put it shortly, yes. I just think that you have enough lands that don't tap for blue that I'm just kind of more interested in not playing the Spiral. And you play mostly at sorcery speed anyways. What are we second to Shape Anew? Gingerbread Cabin food token. If you have 4 force in play, you put a Gingerbread Cabin token into play on turn 4 for your Shape Anew. It's very smooth, very easy, very peasy. Is Shape Anew better than a shell with something like Refurbish and Season Pyromancer Fable? Yes. Shape Anew doesn't require you to have the dang thing in the yard. It just puts it into play. It's awesome. It's great. Why does Mulldrifter keep making a list? Divination is a far cry from modern playable. Yeah, people do this a lot. They have like this false equivalency when they compare Mulldrifter to Divination. This card is not Divination. It does a lot more than just Divination. In this list specifically, it should be obvious why it's here. You are going to recur Mulldrifter over and over again with Portal to Phyrexia. Portal to Phyrexia is a good card, but it has the deck building restriction of you needing things to recur with it for you to want to play it. But like, yeah, it's not Divination. It has more text on the card. Okay, I'm going to cut the Eternal Witness, I think. I'm going to cut, I think, the bolts. I want to play like 2 Furies. Maybe going down to Mulldrifter in this matchup makes sense. But also, like, you know, you say, why do Mulldrifters keep making your list? Like, have you seen, like, the Esper Ephemerate deck? Mulldrifter is absurdly good in that deck, you know what I mean? It's absurdly good in that deck. Oh, yeah, sorry, I should cut the Pierces. Like this. I don't think I want any bolts. I think we can play 3 Fury, 3 Mulldrifter. Eternal Witness. Good luck this hand. Was Fable the Miracle too slow for the gameplay? So the problem with Fable, we already talked about this. Fable is just not a creature. It's just not a creature. That was my issue with it. And like again, like Portal's a good card, but you need to have like you know, creatures to recur with it. So I want to have kind of max out on that, and creatures that are good to recur with it. So Fury, Fulminator Mage, Mulldrifter. These are really good cards to recur with the Portal. So I can't Fulminator Mage Basic Forest. I could maybe Explore and then... Ooh, an Amulet. I guess I don't need that, actually. If I Explore, I might have to... No, that's not good. Never mind. I was thinking I would have to, for some reason, play the Boseiju as a land. That's not the case. Pizza, 21 months. Thank you. -3 Explore, +3 Fable. I mean, just like every chat suggestion we ever get on this channel, you want to, you know, raise the mana curve and add a grindy 3-drop. But you could do that. It would be fine. It would be fine. But you know, you could play Fable. You could play Fable. Here's another thing too. Like as far as like the token generation for Fable goes, I'm really not putting much stock in it. I really think we're just very good at getting the requisite tokens we need. And Explore is I really liked Explore last night. I would really hate to not play 0 copies. Like I feel like I would almost always even play the first one, but yeah. Another thing too is if y'all disagree with how I've built the deck, you can always make the changes yourself. I was hoping we would, get to Titan, but I guess this is gonna be fine. Oh no! No! Oh, I guess this is fine. I sacked the treasure and the food instead of the treasure. Oh man, this is fine. This is fine. I don't even need to kill the Castle Garebrick anyways. Why do you play 3 portals? Aren't 2 the number in these kind of decks? 3 is the right number. I don't care what other people do. 3 is like almost definitely the right number, I think. It is very often I found yesterday by playtesting that you just want to like get the second portal in play. That's not legendary. It's great to have multiples in play. It was great to have multiples in play yesterday. Oh wow, because we misclicked again, we're just gonna win here by killing their land. It's awesome. Yeah, you want to get multiples in play, so you don't want to have to like draw one and then I can't put two portals into play. I feel like very confident that 3 is correct.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Yeah, I probably don't need to repeat myself again, but you want to be able to get multiples of these. And like one thing is like you want to be able to like the witness is in here so you can Shape Anew and then return your witness with portal and then Shape Anew again, and you could maybe be more on that plane too if you wanted to. But you want to be able to like draw 1 and still be able to put 2 into play in a lot of games. Okay, I think I'm gonna draw. I'll bring in the 4th Fury. Just be able to kill a Dryad. Okay, we can keep this. The ability to Fury a Grazer or a Dryad that blocks the Ragavan so we can get our second mana for Wrenn is fine, and we have double Fulminator Mage. No, we have triple Fulminator Mage. Are there duplicates of Shape Anew that have to kind of play? The creativity is really the only duplicate. The only thing that really gives you any amount of redundancy. And, You can't play both because of the green restrictions, in my opinion. Well, I guess I could have kept this channel. No, I probably need to play this. You know what? I'm actually gonna. I know this is weird because the Wrenn and Six is so great here, but what's also great is just triple fulminating my opponent out of this game. Yeah. Glad I got these mages today, huh? Any reason to omit copies of Ephemerate? Well, I think keeping the mana teamer makes things very, very smooth. Again, this is still an early draft. I think you could be a more white-based version. I got pretty stuck on like Bant versions because I think one of the main things I think you really want to be able to play Ragavan Wrenn. I know that's boring, but it's also true. Oh yeah, I forgot to say GLHF, huh? Oh, I said GLH. I didn't say. I said GL have, and very notably left the F out here. Oh no, my whole game plan. Oh no, and I can't. I can't quite shape anew here. Fuck. I guess I explore. Okay. My whole game plan, huh? Surely they gotta be out of land soon. So a red card or a land lets me shape anew. Okay. Get out of here, Grazer. Oh no, I'm 1 mana short of casting this prime time. I guess, you know, we could settle for the portal though. We won the last chance event yesterday. We were able to qualify, thankfully. Brea is a nice idea. Brea. Brea's Apprentice. Could be cool for Witness. Yeah, Brea's Apprentice. Well, okay, so I think anybody suggesting like a card on the strength of making a token. You have 15 Gingerbread Cabins and you just don't need that many tokens through the course of a game. 15 Gingerbread Cabins for Wrenn and Six. Oh yeah, Apprentice is also an artifact and stuff. You actually just can't play that card. Yeah. Apprentice could turn extra tokens into card draw, Fishes to Fury. Yeah. Yeah, being an artifact, you can't play it. But I do think in this deck, people are going to overvalue cards like Fable, Tireless Tracker, the Evoke Mulldrifter. Sam Pardee said he wanted it in the deck yesterday. Aether Channeler. Oh yeah, Channeler doesn't make an artifact. You have to have an artifact, not a token in general. But I just think with the cabin plan is very consistent. And like one thing about like creativity is you need extra tokens there because you have to creativity for like X equals 2 or 3 a bunch, and a lot of your tokens are creatures, and so you need to be able to get like treasure tokens to play through creature removal sometimes. We're gonna get to spell pierce this bolt out of nowhere. This is dirty. This little stomping ground. They're like, oh, there's no way there's a spell pierce over there. Dirty. Could trash for treasure. Yeah, you could potentially trash for treasure. The thing is, like, you need to like have discard enablers or engineers, and I don't think that plan really works. But like, it's something. It's a route I've almost tried to go down. Oh man, can't quite cast this cloth. This. Oh no, opponent. Oh, Evoke Fury. Pitchbone Crusher, sure. I prefer not to have to sack my treasure to fulminate next turn, but we'll do what we have to do. Gotta keep them off the Blood Moon. I have to think if I want to play the Boseiju this turn. I don't think so. I think there's a chance like I'll end up drawing, or like would it be they'll like Utopia Sprawl or Blood Moon. How do you get rid of Port if you draw it? You spend 9 mana and put it into play. Yeah, the Boseiju really doesn't even help the Shape Anew plan very much, so I think we just still chill. Oh, I guess if the Utopia Sprawl, I can't kill their forest actually. I do think I need to keep this for the Blood Moon though. Okay, hopefully they don't have a second Blood Moon. Been playing Portal and Blue-Red Kuriga, Blood Moon, Magus, Fable, Prismari Command, and my Lost in the Sauce. I mean, you could do that. I mean, you lose out on the best enabler for Portal, but you can play it. Yeah, it does sound like a lot of threes. Just like every Twitch chatter wants to play. Only 3 drops in their deck. Okay, no play. Interesting. Maybe some more removal. Maybe a Fury. I have 24 lands in the deck. An Endurance? That's fine. This does mean Wrenn and Six is no longer a good draw. Burn them out. I mean, they're at 14. I have 9 points of burn and only 3 more points of burn in the deck. Can't play CMC3 under Karuga. Wow. Okay. It's Fury. Thought this would be winning. I know. We were so close to greatness. Gonna go down to a humble 7 life. Hopefully there's another Bone Crusher Giant in hand I can spell Pierce. That'd be awesome. Can I draw land? Okay. Now any fetch land, basically put a portal to Phyrexia in play. Stomp. Not so bad, really. Lightning bolts, but you know, we're even just kind of somewhat happy to just have a freaking spell pierce target here. So I currently have, I can't remember how many fetch lands they shuffled to the bottom. I think just 1. So that means I should have like 11 outs to Shape Anew. Okay. There's a really, really good chance that my opponent has a lightning bolt. I guess they've used 2. Maybe it's not that good of a chance. Yeah. Not a bolt that's going at my face, though. Oh, yeah, Cabin, too. Sorry, Cabin. So, 14 outs. Okay. Would be a good time. Would be a good time. Let's go. Let's go. Game 1, I don't know how much artifact destruction they have. They could maybe be holding on to a Boseiju here. One thing I found yesterday is you can get Cabin off Boseiju and it enters untapped. Okay, that's fine. Kind of. With them only having 1 bolt in the deck, I can feel a bit more comfortable here. I guess that's going to be a good thing to recur with Portal also. Yeah, it's kind of hard for opponent to play into the Fury because like they know I can recur a Fury this turn and next turn. What Eldraine common is the most powerful after Mystic Sanctuary? Dwarven Mine? It's got to be Dwarven Mine, right? Or like, you know, it's been performing the best, I guess. All of them are good though. All of them are good. Yeah, Cottage is good too. I mean, they're all just, you know, free value of fetch lands. I think my opponent's considering playing an Arbor Elf, yeah, into the portal. Villa for Grange. Grange is good. I mean, I've registered Grange like this month, last month. Main deck Stonebrain. Literal main deck Stonebrain. This is bad for me, actually. This is bad for me, but not this game. This game doesn't matter. The main decking Stonebrain is scary, scary. I wonder what they're gonna use it. They hit a Utopia Sprawl. If I Spell Pierce this, they can't Stonebrain, but it's probably just best to discard the Spell Pierce to a Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, I might just use it, look at the deck, and scoop. Any thoughts on Prismari Command over Explore for artifact generation looting value? I really do not value artifact generation very much in this deck. It is just so easy to put one token into play, and I think to some extent y'all have like creativity brain rot, where in creativity you do need to have a lot of artifact generation because you're making creatures. Making a non-creature token just means you don't need this kind of effect very much. And Prismari Command I don't think is very well positioned, and I think I'm not upset to not have it in this deck. You don't really want to run Utopia Sprawl because it doesn't ramp you into your combo. You want to play Explore instead. But Oracle instead of Explore also works with Portal and ramps. Saying that Oracle ramps is just not always true. You know what I mean? It ramps some of the time. But you could play Quarreling Oracle. I don't hate the suggestion. Okay, let me look at the. I could play the Eternal Witness, but. Not sure how many Boseijus I want. Thoughts behind Fulminator in the deck. I think that like you want a way to like lock your opponent out of the late game. Against like 4-color and like blue-white specifically, like I don't know that you actually have inevitability with your portal, and so I think the Fulminator's mages help a lot in those matchups, help like a lot against Tron and Titan, which seem to be, you know, weaker matchups for you. Better than Avalanche Riders, because you can only recur Avalanche Riders every other turn, as I realized this morning. I think let's try this. Well, yeah, try this. Could you do Shape Anew Rhinos? So you lose Charlotte's Agent if you Shape Anew Rhinos, but you can play Ardent Plea instead. Yeah, the food deck is sick, Atashi. I bought some Japanese Finale of Devastations. So anyone wanting to play the food deck, the Japanese finales are a lot cheaper. Yeah, I don't think you want to play Growth Spiral over Explore. A lot of people have suggested it, but it's just like you have enough lands in the deck that don't tap for green, and not that many instants. I think you just want to play Explore instead. I think I'm just going to play this Misty Rainforest and pass. I want to be able to get a green source so I can potentially kill a Blood Moon, and if my opponent taps out for a Blood Moon turn 2, I can just get a forest, dash a Ragavan. Don't you mean that don't tap for blue? Yes, I do mean that. Well, the old turn 2 Stonebrain plus activate, brutal. Gonna get to draw a card. Awesome. Is there a modern? I hope they name. Okay, they do name portal. So these basically do nothing. I do not believe Modern is currently... Modern is actually definitely not a place for main deck Stonebrains right now. The Modern metagame is full of, like, fair decks at the moment. Can this deck still win? Yeah, we've got Furies, we got Mulldrifters, we got cards. It is going to be really hard to win, but, you know. We can cast our spells. Is there a good artifact in the sideboard? So, I was thinking about that a little bit. I'm kind of not really of the opinion that there is one you really want to be playing, but... I'm not saying that there definitely isn't. You can maybe suggest something if you all have any good ideas, but if you have bad ideas, keep those to yourself. Yeah, Blightsteel's modern legal. I don't think Blightsteel is that good though. It's just it's slow. It takes like 3 turns to win after you Shape Anew it into play. Then the next turn you have to untap, and then it's very easy for them to survive 1 attack with it. And there's a decent number of answers to it too, in addition to it being not that consistent of a win condition. Did I consider Soccer Tribe Elder over Explorer? The problem is I only have 1 basic land in my mana base right now. Obviously, you can play more basics, but I don't necessarily feel like it's that correct to play anymore. And you need to play 4 basics in your Soccer Tribe Elder decks, 3 or 4. If 3 basics, you have 2 elders, and it's just I don't know. Inkwell Leviathan. I don't think Inkwell Leviathan really wins any matchups. You know what I mean? This is the thing about these kind of suggestions is I want something that's going to win specific matchups, and chat just I don't know, they just kind of want to put value into play a lot of the time, I feel. Oh, can't spell pierce that. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Oh, baby. Boy, do I despise that card. all the last 2 weeks, over and over, chatter's let's play Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. But I just think that card is just so embarrassingly bad. Wormcoil sort of wins versus Burns. Yeah, so I played Burn last night in my trophy league. You have Gingerbread Cabin to gain life. That was ended up being pretty relevant. The burn matchup maybe kind of want access to the 4th cabin in the deck, which is maybe something you should have. So you could cut the 12th fetch maybe for it or something, or cut the main deck Boseiju. You could do that too. Gorger and Scales, no joke, actually fun. I'm sure it's fun. It's just not very competitive in my opinion. Both the Sinovers controlling decks that don't sack creatures. I mean, maybe. I think that range of decks is pretty narrow. I think it's also the problem with having something in the sideboard for control that you want to cut the portals for is you kind of have to cut you have to have at least 2 of them in your sideboard, right? Where I think if you want to hit those consistently, at least you do. Oh, they didn't play the Bone Crusher. I mean, I'm just gonna cast the Fury. Remember, they stone-brained my portals this game, unfortunately. Variable kind of stinks. Yeah, I just don't have anything going on, and they brainstoned me, so I just kind of have to take the high upside line, I think. So this deck is just creativity adjacent, but you get to play creatures. So in my opinion, that is one of the 3 strengths of this deck over creativity. You get to play creatures, specifically Ragavan, Fury, or nuts in this deck. The other one is that you are a much better Boseiju, Wrenn and Six deck than creativity. And then obviously, it is way better to have your plan built around Gingerbread Cabin for a non-creature token than Dwarven Mine for a creature token that's weak to creature removal. And obviously, creativity has its advantages too, but these are the 3 strengths of Shape Anew. All right, let's go to game 3 and not get Brainstone this time. Can't Veil Summer Brainstone. Can Veil Summer the other effects. It's kind of funny. Deck Tech for Puppets. Maybe I should have the extra Boseiju. I don't know. It's kind of tough to brainstorm this. I can also just explore and combo off on turn 3 sometimes. Okay, 4-color Copycat. Don't play Lightning Bolt in your Chalice deck. Just play the 4th Ending. I think in this deck, I want you to just be Jeskai and play Expressive Iteration over Wrenn and Six too. Just being straight Jeskai is going to make your mana base a lot smoother. Well, I guess you're just guy splashing for Leyline Binding, which is pretty doable. Your mana base is going to be similar to like blue-white control is without Wrenn and Six. But I think that's what I'd like to see. And then iteration is going to make you having only 3 Saheeli and 3 Guardian like a bit better for plan 2. Because it does make your Fables worse to have no Wrenn. I mean, this hand's pretty good. It has to draw, like, a land, and it kind of has to draw a red card. But, like, Foundation Breaker for Brainstone or Utopia Sprawl or Blood Moon is really nice. We're on the play. Maul, I think this is a keep. There are better hands, but I'm like, relatively happy with this. Especially because this card just beats the, you know, they have to have Arbor Elf, Utopia Sprawl, Stonebrain again. But the fact, if they like mold a Stonebrain again, like I could just Foundation Break it. It's got Portal. Yeah, you have to keep some amount of these in his hands, right? Like it's kind of like already a mold of 6, but this, like if this is my 6-card hand, no Portal, I'm super happy. So I don't know why I would mull again. Cyber looks really good. Yeah, those are the changes. I want to play 4th Ending over the Bolt. I want to play Iteration over Wrenn and Six, and, you know, obviously cut most of the green from the mana base, just playing an off-color Triome to facilitate your splash. This is a close call, I think, between dashing Ragavan and evoking Foundation Breaker. It's really got me wishing I had fetched a Triome on turn 1, but then I also can't get the Forest. I think I dash Ragavan, because if they Blood Moon, I can just use the treasure to... if they Blood Moon, I can use the treasure to... Foundation Break, and holding the Foundation Breaker is good if my opponent... holding the Foundation Breaker is good if my opponent has the Brainstone. How does it feel by list looking at both? I was like, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Was it you, Scotty? Congrats if that's the case. Yeah, I beat Burn last night. I agree it's not a great matchup. The fact that you have cabins is kind of nice. Obviously, we're still developing the sideboard plan. Okay. Discards Magus and Veil of Summer. So I'm a bit worried about them just going Stonebrain Activate, so I think I'm going to prioritize Foundation Breaker killing the Sprawl this turn. Let's see what we draw. Okay, great. Amazing draw. So we evoke, kill the Sprawl. Cast Ragavan. And then if my opponent Blood Moons me next turn, I can either hardcast Fury, get in with Ragavan, or draw a red card, evoke Fury, and then Shape Anew. Or potentially, like, if they don't Blood Moon, I just Shape Anew and get there. Just hardcast. No, I think I want to keep the token. Okay, they do have the Blood Moon, so a red card is almost a win here. Not a red card. So we have to hardcast this Fury. I guess extra token generators are nice, like specifically against Blood Moon, huh? Because I need an extra token. I need to tap 1 for... Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. We can also, you know... so we'll just hardcast the portal. We have 5 mana. It's got 3 cards in their hand. Another Seasoned Pyromancer, unfortunately. 1 or 2 trackers. Tracker just sucks. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's just not that good. Discard Force of Vigor, Unlicensed Hearse. Hearse is pretty good against us, huh? 1, 2 Jays to be able to top the portal. I just don't think you care that much about that. I don't know. this yeah. Welcome to Twitch chat. Everybody just wants to add trackers and Jace to every deck. You know what I mean? And feel like a genius for doing so. Oh, don't have a Fury, please. Fury would be so disaster. So I have 6 mana right now. Still 3 away from the portal. We have a lot of good draws though. We have Mulldrifter. We have Fury. I guess it's mostly just those. Fury is nuts though here. Oh, we also have a Foundation Breaker Boseiju for the Blood Moon. Those are actually like, well, I guess not anymore, but those were really good draws. I think I still can't attack with the Ragavan. I want to be able to draw a Fury and get the Ragavan through. Don't need to use the Bolt yet, I think. They have no cards in their hand. They're top decking. With the popularity of Boseiju and Binding, you might want to get into target other than Portal. I mean, Portal still has an ETB effect in the face of those cards, and I don't know. I you can play Scared, I guess, but for the most part, like I'm getting a little tired of the whole like, everything in Modern has an answer, especially now that Leyline Binding exists. Everything in Modern has an answer. You will lose sometimes to well-placed answers in Modern, well-timed answers in Modern, but you also just don't need to like just live your life in fear either. Yeah, we can play this. One more land lets me hardcast Portal. Shout out to Mulldrifter. No, they're holding up tokens here, so we can't get the portal through. No Bolt and Shape Anew, they have the tokens for Spyro. Okay, land lets me portal. It's okay. I'm always happy to hardcast a Mulldrifter. How does Rectus beat blue-white control? Rectus has a really good blue-white matchup, actually. I mean, learning to play against blue-white always takes some time, so don't feel bad about, like, if you're struggling. But Turok is your best card. You have a lot of card advantage against them. Blood Moon is good against them on the play, not as good on the draw a lot of the time. I think Rectus is a slight favorite. Voidwalker is really good against them. You just have to learn to, like, when to time your threats, playtest the matchup a bunch. Did I consider Kihira? Not very seriously, since I think like Ragavan is awesome in this deck because it attacks from a really different angle from creativity, and so like when they're sideboarded, like I need to keep in all this cheap removal because they're a Ragavan deck, but I also have to, plan for the Shape Anew plan, and it just attacks them from such a unique angle. And people wanted to mulligan because I had Portal in my opening hand. Just hardcast it. Easy. I did make some changes from last night, but I 5-0'd my practice league. I'm now 2-0. Deck's been pretty sick so far. Cards like Hard Evidence, like I agree that those cards are good versus Blood Moon. Those cards are good versus Blood Moon. But you also have answers to Blood Moon, and unlike Creativity, you just don't need incidental tokens because you're making non-creature tokens with your land. Creativity needs the non-creature tokens because they want to be resilient to removal. You're built-in resilient to removal, which is one of the 3 main advantages of this deck over Creativity. Alright, let's hold up Spell Pierce, I guess. Don't really know what they're doing. Is Gilded Goose 2 weak at Artifact Maker, ramp and fixing? So it's not good ramp because it doesn't let you Shape Anew on turn 3. But it is kind of interesting with the land letting it tap for mana. Thoughts of Wave Sifter over the Fulminators? I think Wave Sifter is like pretty weak. Like it's a Mulldrifter where you have to spend 4 extra mana to draw the cards. Which I don't like very much. And then what's cool about the I think Fulminator Mages give you like a degree of inevitability, and they help you with your bad matchups too, which I value a lot. But again, like because I do not value the tokens from Wave Sifter very much. I really oh, what a crazy Iconoclast draw. I really just do not value those tokens very much. Wave Sifter is, I think, a generally weak card. If you like just disagree and you think the tokens are really important, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. But this is my current take. Yeah, and you just pitch this to Fury. Ooh, there's a Shape Anew. Does Jeskai Breach play Iconoclast? The Jeskai Breach players are in fierce division at the moment over what cards to be playing. I think you know one thing that I think is really underrated about Modern is that every single archetype has an incredible amount of division among the player base on the best way to build the decks. Creativity, Murktide, Rhinos, Hammer Time, Breach, Yawgmoth. Like there is like any deck that you could name, there is not a completely stock list. There is some degree of disagreement in the player base and contention and conversation about what the best 75 is. And I think that's awesome. I think that's a really, really good thing for the format. Tron doesn't. I think even Tron, like Jim Davis is always like Karn is bad. Tron is probably the best counter to that argument. I maybe agree with that. Living 16 months, thank you. Burn. There's a little bit of burn, maybe not so much. Like mostly sideboard choices. Although, like I like, you know, I have encountered some people that like DRC and Ragavan. I still like DRC a lot, honestly, and Burn. I have a friend who still plays DRC and Burn. Although I think it was like more clear cut when Luris was legal. Were there any upgrades for Key and Bro? I mean, you get Haywire Might and Brainstone, but not really. Not as much as you want. And honestly, there's more artifact and enchantment hate now. So I think 8 key has got worse, but I do think like right before it got worse, it was a good time. Good time for 8 key. Right before Brothers War. Alright, I think I just hold up the spell here so I don't get comboed, and then hopefully we can Shape Anew into a win or close to it. Yeah, Edgar Chargroom, right 4-drop in Vampire Pox. Yeah, Tron players can't decide whether or not they want one Walking Ballista or a Giganta. Yeah, that's true. A lot of Burn players are like thinking about the Black Splash right now, which is not something I can like devote any brain power to because I don't know. I feel like it's almost not any difference. They play a combo. Yeah, their combo is Underworld Breach Grinding Station. Then they win with Thassa's Oracle or Grape Shot. Devocam, 10 months, thank you. The Black Splash is for bump in the night, and you know, new Burn players see it, and their little minds are blown, and I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I would love for the Black Splash to give you something besides bump in the night, but bump is a fine card. We got Portal and Pioneer and a Refurbish Shell. How work with Metalwork Colossus. Maybe it could work with Metal Gear Colossus. Why hasn't Burn picked up Flame Rift? You know, in a deck with Eidolon, and Burn has a really painful mana base. It is not. I've played it. It's not as good as you like necessarily might expect. Like in Legacy Burn, you're mono red and you're not fetch shocking like twice a turn every game with a bunch of like Horizon lands that tap to deal damage. I do think like one copy of Flame Rift is fine though. I think you can play one copy. I might Spell Pierce this. Because I'm gonna tap out next turn. I guess I probably just want the Spell Pierce to be in my hand after that. I can cycle this Ketria Triome too. Oh, please heat the Wrenn. That'd be awesome. Alright, let's Spell Pierce this one though. I know my hand's all blue, but I have, you know, double red cards in the deck, not double blue ones. Love that they're missing lands. So right now we have Fury, Third Path Iconoclast, or Embry as reanimation targets. Should not be able to be comboed this turn. Yeah, they're going to be 1 mana short, I think. I guess you have another Mox Amber. So silly, you could target their creatures in that graveyard. You say silly, I say sweet. Imreat's middle over more reanimation targets? Maybe. Oh, wait, are we dead? No, they would have to... I guess, yeah, if they had another Mox Amber, we would be. Yeah, they should definitely Imri here. If they had another Mox Amber, we're actually toast, huh? They did hit the other Mox Amber. Dang. I thought we were pretty safe here, but... And they had a Mox Amber in their hand, so we were just like actually toast the whole time, so... They're going to be able to cast Grinding Station, go through the deck, and kill me. Welp indeed, huh? I do think this matchup gets a lot better post-board with these Boseijus and Foundation Breakers. I think Spell Pierce is better than Flusterstorm against them. Fulminator's interesting. I don't know if we really want these Fulminators, though, this matchup. Could cut Fury 4, could cut the Witness... Could cut a land also. I don't think I want Veil. Veil is like not... Doesn't do nothing. I don't think it does enough. I don't know. There's a good chance they're going to be boring in like Flusterstorm and stuff for my Shape Anew. So Veil Summer to protect that seems okay. Play like 1 over and Explore maybe. No, you can't play Hard Evidence, I think. You have to play a lot of creatures in this deck too, which I think is like something that... I have to like smash into you guys' brains, but you have to play a lot of creatures. Hard Evidence is pretty weak anyways. You don't need the extra token generation. I ran into the problem that Portal's not great in some matchups. Granted, that was for Pioneer. I think that's like a fair evaluation. Also, Modern is like so weird right now where like literally every deck is a creature deck. Or almost every single deck is a creature deck. So I feel like this is part of the reason why it was like why I've been winning, I think, with this deck and the food deck is... There are very, very few non-creature strategies at the moment. Right, let's keep this. Not very good against the Breach combo, but if we just draw like a Boseiju, we'll be okay. What matchups do you go hard stick for when? Can you keep up with Hammer Time? The Hammer Time matchup's good. You're a Fury, Lightning Bolt, Wrenn and Six, Boseiju. Deck with the make you sack 3 creatures. I think the hardest matchups are gonna be non-creature decks in general, but I did beat Control last night. My draw also lined up super well against theirs, to be fair. Alright, please don't Spell Pierce me. Dang it. Well, that definitely is a big wrench in my hand, huh? Does that leave room for non-creature strategies like Control? Control is good, yeah. That's like really like the main non-creature deck. So like one big, we did play against Titan yesterday or today, sorry, but like for the most part, like Murktide has been super popular right now, and when Murktide's super popular, the players who like to play the linear non-creature decks, they oftentimes will just play a different deck because they don't want to play the Murktide matchup, and there is so much Murktide now, it's absurd. What is this? Emery, okay. I mean, this is pretty bad for me. I think I have to bolt the Ragavan and Fury the Emery and draw land. Not a land, but honestly very good. So we each both have 2 mana, 2 cards in hand. My 2 cards are both divinations. We'll see how good theirs are. My good draws include any non-cabin lands or Wrenn and Six. Their good draws include Iteration, Saga, Emery, Ragavan. They have a lot of good draws, huh? Yeah, we were farming the Murktide players yesterday. Okay. 24 lands in the deck, plus 4 Wrenn and Six. I don't know. The spell person of the Wrenn and Six was obviously just so sick. Chaos 20 months, thank you. They have another Saga. 4 cards in their hand now. Is Murktide still top deck in the format? Has been slightly relegated. Murktide is the most popular deck at the moment. It's also like a deck you can really farm if you just have, you know, if you want to. We were like, I think yesterday we were like 5-0-1 against it. Kroger's trying to make Steel Shaper a thing in Standard. That's awesome. You mean Steel Seeker? That is awesome. That card is very good. Okay, land, please. I'm dying over here. Damn it! That's what I get for begging for a land. How did I draw against Murktide? I mean, I drew perfectly and they drew horribly every single game. Yikes. Might pack it in here. Yeah, the draw was we were 1-1 and then we conceded to go play the qualifier round. So I'm just kind of counting that as a draw. Okay, don't even need to. Okay, I'm gonna think mulligan this despite it being able to do the thing on turn 4. Go to 5 or Wrenn and Six deck. We mulligan pretty well. Yeah, I think any 4-card hand with Wrenn and Six is going to be better than this. And now we basically have our 7-card hand, but it's a 4-card hand. Damn it. I've been considered having multiple Shape Anew targets post-board to play around Stonebrain. I mean, that doesn't work if they just name Shape Anew, but I'm not that worried about it. I think I did Aether Spike. That was before Brothers War, right? Okay, some sort of domain strategy. Could just Fury the Red. I think I'm gonna do this instead. What was wrong with the 5-card hand? Am I insane? What was I missing? I'd have to. So I think my thinking was that it was mediocre and 5-card hand, and that any 4-card hand that had Wrenn and Six fetch land and another spell, Wrenn and Six fetch land and another spell and another land, was going to be better than that 5-card hand. So I was, with 4 Wrenn and Sixes and 24 lands, I was kind of high rolling a little bit there. Wouldn't this deck be better with Omnath since you can hardcast Portal sooner? You can play Omnath in the deck. It makes your mana a lot worse. It does let you hardcast Portal sooner. Could you go into 2 portals? I don't know if you were here like 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, but I just talked about why I think 3 is the correct number. Ooh, Bring to Light. Do I like Mulldrifter over Fable? Well, I am playing Mulldrifter in this deck, and I'm not playing Fable. I like Mulldrifter over Fable because it's a creature to recur for Portal. I mean, I think that this is a big issue. We just have to say the same things over and over again with new brews, but yeah, like this deck, you need good creatures to recur with Portal. Mulldrifter is awesome in this deck, I think. Fable's just not a creature, you know what I mean? Hey, Spike just got here, cut a Portal. Another thing too. This was a big issue in the food deck. It's a big issue in this deck too. Is that like 95% of chat suggestions are Spike? What about this grindy 3 or 4 mana card or Hard Evidence, or Hard Evidence? And it's, for me at least, it's really, oh, this is Tamashi. For me, it's really difficult to like sift through these comments, if that makes sense. It's very difficult for me to like sift through the good suggestions and the bad suggestions, because like obviously I've considered the dopey Fable and considered building deck with Omnath, and And like when I've considered all of these cards, and so when you're not offering anything besides play Omnath, play Fable, play Tracker, it just is not something I can really engage with, if that makes sense. Ooh, an Angrath. What kind of matchups would an Angrath be on the sideboard for, Jesse? So I could put another. I guess putting a portal to Phyrexia doesn't do anything, right? Can't reanimate a portal with a portal. Could be dead. Could be dead. Yeah. Very likely dead. I haven't played against Tamashii in the longest time. So you basically need them to not have a payoff in their hand, and if they can try, they could draw one off their one Tamashii trigger. Alright, there's a Cultivator Colossus. I will go ahead and concede to that. Go to game 2. So up against Tamashii combo. I think I'm interested in the subtleties. I'm interested in the playset of Fulminators. Obviously want the full 4 lightning bolts. I think spell pierces are fine. They can counter Teferis. They can counter Eldamri's Call. And just cheap interaction in general is where you want to be, I think. I don't think the Veils do a ton. They might have Veils of their own, so I could bring in like a Flusterstorm for that. Although Veil only stops spell pierce, so that's probably not something you want. Boseiju hits Dryad. Boseiju can kill a Lotus Bloom in their upkeep if that's something you're scared of. I don't think that interaction is super good against them, though. So I think I'll do something like cut the 4th Fury and 2 Drifters and click Submit. The win con is Dryad Valakut, so Boseiju's good. I mean, you have Fulminator Mage and Fury for that also. I don't know that Boseiju is that good against Dryad Valakut, especially because they're playing Wrenn. Twice in the last 2 matches, you did the thing and immediately lost. Yeah. That's true. I also, play against 2 combo decks in a row. This deck is definitely not as good against combo decks, but I'm also 7-1 with the deck. Sometimes creativity does the thing and loses. I think Fluster good for calls and war gates. I could maybe be persuaded. Maybe a little late. We already have 3 spell pierces. I don't want to like overload on this effect is the thing. How much of playing this deck was thinking Shape Anew versus Lost in the Sauce? I'm confused by the question. Been confused by a lot of things in chat today. Again, in my opinion, there are 3 main advantages to this build over creativity, because that's the obvious thing to compare this deck to is creativity. The biggest thing is that your food tokens are not vulnerable to creature tokens in the same way that your dwarf tokens are vulnerable to creature removal and creativity, and so you don't need to play cards like Prismari Command, you don't need to play Fable. Fable wouldn't be bad here, but it's also not a creature for Portal. Additionally, the other big advantage, in my opinion, is that you get to play Fury Ragavan and attack from a very unique angle. This game is doing a good job illustrating that. Attacking from a very unique angle compared to creativity, where you're basically always executing one game plan. I feel like Ragavan really does do a good job of just putting them on the old back foot. The other nice thing is that you're a much better Boseiju Wrenn and Six deck, although that's probably the smallest benefit of this version over the other version. To some extent, I guess, there's two portals. To some extent, there is a lot of me like just wanting to play with the new cards, right? As I'm trying to explore them, but I like to play decks with like real meaningful reasons to play them over, and I think this deck has enough real meaningful reasons. Kobe, 12 months, thank you. Yeah, good thing we didn't cut the 3rd portal. So we can pay for Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm here, which is nice. Then we can start looping. Cannot cast that. We can start looping Fulminator Mage, potentially. We're also like, we have 6, 7, we could, wait, 5. Okay, we can almost hardcast a portal next turn. NRW, thank you for the 21 months, appreciate you. Team Shape Anew trophy. Yeah, I trophied my very first draft. This is a little different today, but I trophied first draft, first league last night. No. Not the end of the world. Seeing that they're on Leyline Binding, I guess makes me wish that I had Foundation Breaker in the deck. I had more Boseijus, so we'll, I guess, do that for game 3 if we get to game 3. Return Artifact or Enchantment with mana value X. Okay, we can return our portals. Whenever one or non-creature creatures are returned to hand, draw a card. I can't, like, bounce the food token to recur something, right? I have to have a target? Okay. This deck is hard carried by Wrenn and Monkeys. Yeah, good cards typically make, you know, good decks better. But also, like, Shape Anew into Portal, playing this card for 4 mana is kind of nuts. And you get to do this very powerful thing in a deck with all good cards, and that's a good brew, you know? Quintessential new brew. Good cards and good deck, you know? Or good cards with good cards. Okay. Anonymous, thank you for the 9 months. Appreciate you as well. Okay, so let's bolt the Wrenn so we can kill it. And then we're gonna get to hardcast a portal to Phyrexia. They just used another Leyline Binding. So hopefully this is gonna work. Is there any card in Modern you feel should be banned? I think your favorite card should be banned and your least favorite card should be unbanned. Please unlike and unsubscribe. Elevation, 15 months, thank you. They've been missing land drops. There's a... Alright, then they play the fetch land. Yikes. Oro, 2 months, thank you. Yikes. Are we dead? No. We go to 1? Holy shit, we go to 1. What happened? Is Uro any good in this format? Dude, I saw Canister's tweet too. Uro would be the best win condition in Control immediately if it was unbanned. It would be a format-defining card. I think it's silly to pretend like Uro... I can never tell if Canister's joking either, but I think it'd be silly to pretend like Uro wouldn't be really good right now. Especially when, like, if the argument is, oh, it gets Solitude and it gets Unholy Heated. Uro was always so insanely good against removal. That was, like, the whole thing. Was that, like, it's a win condition that just, if you're trying to 1-for-1 it and, like, exile it, you've drawn 2 cards, it's just, like, not going to do anything. Brutal game. Again, I can never tell if Canister's joking or not, but I think Uro would be bad, actually, or not that bad, actually, is just, like, not a very good opinion, or not a good take. Ending and buying, finding regrets Uro. Again, like, listen, this was the exact same attitude people had when Uro was legal. If you ending an Uro, if you binding an Uro, you've been 3-for-1'd. You've literally been 3-for-1'd, and they gain 6 life, and they put 2 lands into play. This is not removal. It's not good against Uro. That's the whole problem. That's the whole problem. It's like that in Legacy too. It's just. This is why we banned it in the first place, is because the only things that are good against Uro are like weird cards like Remand and Narset, and like even Graveyard Hate, you rest in peace, they still explore, you know what I mean? It turns your Uro into Explorer. It's just, I think he lens. Okay. Get to play the Hammer Time matchup. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to wait on this Fury. I feel like getting the Ragavan in is really nice, because if I can find an artifact from the Ragavan here, I can maybe Shape Anew next turn. Maybe a little greedy, but not greedy if it works, right? Let's go. Easy. I've been playing a lot of Modern the last few weeks. I honestly think Ragavan makes the format better. It's easy kill creature. Okay, then Canister is definitely doing his like 7 layers of irony and tweet. You know, do you think Wrenn and Six will get access to Modern soon? I cannot. I have never been able to accurately predict when Wizards will ban something. I do think that Wrenn and Six is probably. You know, one thing about Wrenn and Six is, I think it's kind of difficult to make an argument that any single card is the best card in Modern right now besides Wrenn. Wrenn just goes in so many archetypes, it powers up so many cards, it just fits in so many strategies. It's good against so much. I think it's like I think that like Wrenn and Six is the best card in Modern, and I think that like before Lurrus was banned, you could make an argument it was like Wrenn or Lurrus, but I'm not saying that you should ban it. I'm not saying you should ban it, but I am saying that it is the best card. The Ragavan thing was a different person, not Canister. Ah, I see. We'll see. Whatever. It's okay. If Canister just has a different opinion than me, that's also fine. You know what I mean? Okay, opponent sure tanked for a while there. That's okay, we have 2 Shape Anews. I think we should have powerful cards in Modern. Like, I agree. I'm not saying we should ban something. That being said, like, you know, it's good when like a lot of the cards in the format are like the good cards are closer to the same power level. I think if you banned Wrenn, you'd have a hard time like there being like a clear best card in the format. Another thing too is like people don't play enough Pithing Needles in their sideboard. Like there's like in Blue-White Control for me at least, and a few other strategies like Rakdos. I really like 1 Pithing Needle in the sideboard for like every single Wrenn and Six deck. Hold on, did we just lose? Yeah, I think we may have just lost. Stinks that they were able to like play around my plan just perfectly here. Jeez. Do you like the incorporation of so much free interaction existing in Modern? Yeah, I love it. I love Fury, Solitude, Force of Negation. Love those cards. I guess we have to bluff interaction. I don't know. I think Modern is as good as it's ever been currently, if not, you know, the best. I think that Modern players live in a state of delusion and fantasy, where there was one era where their pet deck was like really well positioned and they want to return to it, but basically since the banning of Splinter Twin, that like kind of golden era, or like a lot of, you know, that era was, I think, good and fun at least. You had that era, and then Eldrazi Winter happened, and then there was like 5 or 6 years of turmoil and strife, in my opinion, in Modern. And Modern was like a format that was just really needed a hard reset, and Modern Horizons 2 was the hard reset, and I hope that there is not another hard reset anytime soon, but sometimes I feel like Modern players are just kind of living in fantasy lands. Like one thing too is like modern is like is so full of creature decks right now, and so and like one thing I've been starting to think a bit more lately is like there's a lot of people who have the attitude that Fury and Solitude pushed a lot of decks out of the format, but that's in my opinion not the actual truth. In my opinion, the truth is that your creature deck is not as powerful a creature deck as Murktide or Rakdos or Yawgmoth or Hammer, or one or two other creature decks that are more viable, or Merfolk. Merfolk is like, and then say a nutty tribal deck is better than humans, or Goblins is really 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 good at the moment. You know what I mean? It's like, in my opinion, those creature decks are more powerful than like your devoted druid or humans list. You know what I mean? And if it yeah, that's my hot take on the whole Fury Solitude circle jerk. I will not speak. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. You've done enough of this, chat. Isn't it the same thing as pushing them out? Yes, but my point is, it's not Fury and Solitude that pushed your creature deck out. It's the other creature decks being better positioned, and ultimately, in my opinion, what makes a good format is... Oh, that's probably all good, this hand. Keep this one. In my opinion, what makes a good format is archetype diversity. Archetype diversity, the ability to brew, each archetype not having a stock deck and or stock deck list and having a lot of contention in the different cards and the different choices, an evolving metagame. And Modern has literally all of those things. And I'm really enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, it's fine. But this is why I like Modern so much. If Fury didn't exist, would Elves not be S tier? Elves would be good, I think, but it's also, there's other cards keeping Elves in check. Elves is also like somewhat playable. We did not do poorly with Elves when we were playing it recently. So their creature decks are playable, not just the creature decks that everybody wants. Yeah. I mean, this is also the thing. Modern is such a big format with so much history and diversity of card pool. Like, you are just like if your pet, like everybody, including me, has pet decks in Modern that they just want to play nonstop and they want it to be competitively viable, and you just literally cannot make everybody happy. And it's also like a lot of people don't like formats to just stay the same forever. And, some people do. Some people want to play the same format forever. I don't. And I'll say not being able to interact with Turn 1 Grief Scam is so annoying. I mean, you literally can interact with it if you're on the play, if you have Veil of Summer, if you have a Slayline of Sanctity. You can also just tank through it. You're not dead if it happens. But it's also like, people are saying this about Scam. You can't interact with it. You can't interact with it. They're literally saying this about Scam right now because it is like the flavor of the week. It's the current top deck, and it's a good deck, but it has plenty of counters, and it's going to be fine. But this happens no matter what. Whatever is currently winning in Modern, people complain about it. On the play, don't think white cyber cards. Leyline is a cyber card anyone can play. Actually, it's not it's an any color card. Okay, my opponent is not F6'd. All I have is the Shape Anew. I think I'm just gonna play around the stupid Spell Pierce. If they Spell Pierce this Wrenn, that's fine. I did. That was really cool. Okay, opponent 100% on Spell Pierce. This game has been good for months. Yeah, but it's only been like the winning deck for like a week, and all of a sudden people are complaining about it. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know, it's just like, I feel like whatever is the most upvoted comment on Reddit for the week in the Magic subreddit becomes the most commented thing in my Twitch chat, where it's like, you can't interact with grief dying on turn 1. It's so unfair. It's the mono green devotion of Modern. And this was something someone said on Reddit. Everybody's like, that sounds true. And it just gets repeated a bunch, you know what I mean? And I don't really agree, and it's okay we can disagree, but We could disagree, but that just feels like how it is. Pretty good portal, huh? 3 creatures, huh? Yeah. That's my main. That's my main point. I feel like I forget to say this all the time. Yeah, it's okay to disagree, but my main thing is like when I just see the same comment over and over again. Of like this, you know, whatever the new spicy hot take is, I just get a little, you know, bored, I guess. All right, let's just, you know, fulminate them out of this game, huh? Thinking of reality chip. Okay. Yeah, it could reanimate a gingerbread. Could have gained 3 life. Oh, gingerbread's a food too, huh? Wow. Fruit fly, 29 months. Thank you, thank you. Okay, you're gonna have a bad time with that opponent. I think Portal's a lot better than Godpharaoh's Gift. Just that ETB stabilize the board is so sick. I've seen other people do you know, Godpharaoh's Gift in the past. It's, you know, it was like somewhat reasonable. I think this is better though. That Karuga Shape Anew. Yeah, I've seen the Karuga Shape Anew versions, and I thought that those lists look pretty fine. And I didn't really have like many new ideas on them, which is why I wanted to, you know, try to find like this more like focused Ragavan version, you know, lean mean teamer. And I trophied last night. It's feeling really good. Okay, I think on the draw, I'm going to cut the last Explorer for 3rd Ragavan. Stands close. It's mulligan. Put back the Fulminator on the draw here. Can you remake the same Fulminator Mice with 2 portals? No, because they have to have, the target has to target on the upkeep. I wish I had kept that 7. That 7. So we just have Fury, we have Bolts, we have a Wrenn. Maybe we should have kept that 7. Although I didn't realize my 6 would be so bad, I guess. Yeah, I don't think Spiral's better than Explorer. I mean, it's like very marginal. Like, especially because every single instant in this deck costs 1 mana. So you can Explore and hold up any instant you have. But you do have a lot of lands. You only have 3 blue sources in the deck. Obviously, you have 12 fetch lands beyond that, but the fact that Explore just seems like a bit more castable. We can go like turn 1, Stomping Ground, Ragavan, Basic Forest, Explore, get a tap Triumph, not have to shock twice. Oh man, our 7 would have been so good. Oh, we had Fury in our 7, damn it. Does this deck just fold to creatureless decks? I don't know. I beat Titan today, which is a creature deck, but you know, oftentimes, as you know, plays kind of like a non-creature deck. I mean, if you have it, you have it. Spell Pierce just like draws them a card and buys them a turn, buys me a turn. But one nice thing about Modern is like literally every single deck, almost every deck in the format is playing creatures right now. It is not very common to run into a non-creature deck. Why not Explore on our turn? There are 2 Esper Sentinels in play. If I Explore, I let my opponent draw 2 cards, which is not something I can afford to do. They only have 1 card, though. This turn, I think what I might like to do is play a Fulminator Mage, block the Esper Sentinel if they attack with it, then they'll give protection, and then I'll kill a land. I don't know what land I'll kill, though, because I'm kind of dead to a hammer anyways. So I'll just cut them off blue. And cutting them off blue means I could draw a Shape Anew and just kind of win through a Spell Pierce, which they could have. I've considered playing Channeler. I think that the Mulldrifter and Witness are better. What's great about Witness, you return Witness and you just cast Shape Anew again. I'm also okay taking. They might take this trade too. They might take this trade. I would be okay with the trade. How many Magic 30s did I buy? I bought all of them. I bought every single Magic 30, which is why they're not available. I said I'll buy all of them. I'll buy all of them. But you can't say it was me, and so that's why there was the weird wording yesterday. So I can't explore, pay, and then bolt because I don't have the red mana in my hands. So I think I just bolt the Giver right now and then pay 2. Play Breeding Pool tapped. Okay, good to get them hellbent. Obviously, if they talked like a hammer, they're dead. We're dead. If we topped like a Shape Anew, we're in really good shape though. Have a classic game. Okay, just cast that. It's being listed for 2K on eBay. Yeah, do you think I should increase the price? I was thinking I'd start at 2K with all of my Magic 30 packs. All of the ones on eBay are mine. I might go up to 4K, 69K, something like that. Bummer. All right, 2-0 and a 2-3 is sad. Let's go and run back at least one more, though. Yeah, 420K.